So I am going to redo my nails and already prepped as far as buffed it, cleaned up the cuticles, and I already dehydrated with the acetone and alcohol mix. I also, just for good measure, do this pH bond from Gelish. I think it's just alcohol, but I don't know. If you're having some trouble, maybe that's the difference. But other than that, I always use primer. I have an air dry primer, always base gel. This is one that works really well for me. So use what works for you. They're different products, and although it's recommended that you stay within a certain brand, you don't have to in order for it to work for you. And it looks like I'm not in frame here. Let me, okay, all right, so I'm gonna have to maybe change this a bit. Ugh. There we go. How's that? Am I in frame? Let me turn this a little. Looks like it's favoring here. Okay. All right. So anyway, this is what I have. I am gonna tilt it towards me so that when I'm doing the gel, it's running down to the free edge, not running back into the cuticle. So your view may not be the best view in the world, but anyway, just so you can see, this is how I do it. Move my light over a bit. So there's, man, I really put that on tight. So primer, this is non-acid, which is typical for gel. You don't have to use an acid primer. That's for the old formulations back when only acrylic existed. Let me just check my camera. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. Okay, great. You do not want to get this on the skin. So even though it says acid free, it does actually have an acid in it. It's just not the one that's in the acid primers. I don't know why they call it acid free. I guess it's like saying, you know, a non-alcoholic beer. There's alcohol in it. It's just not enough, you know, for you to drink it for its alcohol content, if that makes sense. But there is some still in it. It's just a small amount, so it doesn't, I guess it doesn't count. I don't know, it's weird. So air dry primers, just kind of let it dry a bit. Now some primers, it's recommended to do a second go around. I'm not going to because I don't get lifting with my system mix. So I'm not going to do a second go. Now I'm just going to go right into my base. And you want to scrub this on. Now I didn't perfectly get every little, there's like a tiny bit of glitter on there. It doesn't matter because I'm going to go over with a full color. So I didn't have to do a superb job of, that's way too much. Putting that on. So your base gel needs to be on thin. I'm just scraping more off, and I always start midway up so I can get the majority of it off of my brush onto that section, and then start to kind of scrub, you know, scrub the bristles, and I'm still wiping more. There will be gel up onto the stem of the brush, so if you're wondering like where is all this gel coming from, it's just dripping down. So as you can see, I'm just scrubbing, and I am getting it, I'm pulling back my skin, getting it as close as I can to the skin without touching the skin. If you are not skilled to get super close, don't worry about getting super close. It's more important that you do not get it on your skin. And I know whenever I would paint my nails with regular nail polish, I wouldn't get this close because I just didn't have the time to be so calm and precise. It dries so quick, you know, it'll start pilling. So I never got this close. I get really close to the skin with gel because I don't have an air dry time. Now because this is my thumb, and if I work on my other fingers, that means my thumb turns to the side. I'm going to flash cure my thumb in this upright position and then go into my other nails. Okay, so I did 10 seconds in the lamp. 5 seconds will stop it from moving. I did 10 seconds because it's just the lowest setting on there, so I just stuck my thumb in and let it go. So now I'm going to move on to my other fingers, and I'm going to try to stay within your view. You know, I could turn it this way so you can see better. And then I'll just tilt it forward like that. So I'm wiping my brush, and remember this is base, so we are not trying to build anything. This is the glue per se, the gel glue that's going to allow for the builder and basically your structure to have something nice to stick to. Some of my fingernails naturally C-curve really dramatically, so this one's got a dip right there that I will just be filling in. I can grow my natural nails very long. That's not a problem. Do they grow straight like outward? No, they will start to curl down a little. They will do these dramatic C-curve pinches. So for that reason, I prefer to sculpt my nails than to just let them grow out naturally. This one's a different color because this one I actually built as an extension with a color I was testing out called Opal. So that's why these look kind of on the yellow side, because that's natural nail. Another joy of natural nails, they look kind of gross, but I never grew them out long to leave them naked. I grew them out long so I could put nail polish on them. But I actually find the natural nail tips, you know, natural nail like that when they're long to be kind of gross. Just because of the natural color, you know, it looks gross to me. So I'm doing all of them, and again you can see sparingly. If I don't need more gel, I won't dip back in. I'm just, here we go. Once I get to my pinky, it gets really tough. Actually, I think I need just a hair more because I'm having a hard time getting into this corner. Did I get this corner? Pretty good, actually. Checking sidewalls. Okay. And definitely didn't get here. Be mindful of what you're doing with your other fingers. It's easy to get that tunnel vision and not realize you're getting gel everywhere with your other fingers touching. Alright, and I'm just going to use the light to see how I kind of missed here. I didn't get that close. Just bumping it up. Same here. And pinky is tough because it's just so small that I have to kind of do like a vertical up and down just to get the brush in a shape that's small enough. I didn't re-dip, so I'm just using what's residual on my brush. Scrubbing it in. Checking the sidewall. I'm also twisting the cap a little. You probably can't see or notice that, but I am twisting it just to kind of bring those bristles around and scoop inside while I'm wiggling and scrubbing. There, now you can see as they reach the free edge how they're like curling under. So just using my brush to help me get this all on. Okay, and now I'm going to do a full cure because they're all done. Okay, so full cure, I really like this opal color. I think it's like prettier than natural, but not as crazy as pure white. You can see pure white, like for a French, I hate it. I only did one nail so I could see it, and I hate it so much, but this one's really pretty. I like it a lot. So if you're looking at them and thinking, okay, well, you know, it looks like you're ready to go. Well, no, because if you look closer, even from the side, you can see that, you know, they really need a little bit of structure. Not a lot though, because they were grown out to here. I don't know if you can see. I tried to fix my lighting so wouldn't be so much shadow, but anyway, they were grown out to about here, and so everything behind it is non-existent. It's just natural nail. So I just need to build up just a tiny bit here. So it is, it's just a fill, which is pretty easy to do. So now I'm going to get a builder gel. I'm using a builder in a bottle, not because it's the best and I recommend it. If you're new, it's probably better if you did gel that's in a pot because they tend to be thicker. This tends to be thinner. So I want to show you something though. Now, there is a sticky layer on this. Unless the gel is formulated to not have a sticky layer, unless it's like a no wipe top coat, other than that, all gel cures with a sticky layer. The reason that happens is because when it comes in contact with the air, with oxygen, it doesn't cure. So if you think about water in a lake, when the temperatures dip below freezing, that cold air that touches the top of the lake will freeze the top. But all that water underneath is still flowing. Gel's kind of the same way in that whatever's touching the air on top stays in a semi-liquid state, but everything below it cures. And so this is how a glitter press works. You leave the sticky layer, you press in the glitter, and then you cure again, and it cures with the glitter in it because the glitter blocked the oxygen, right? You put a blanket over it, okay? So when you're building, do not remove the sticky layer. You need that because it's still uncured gel, and we're putting more uncured gel on top so it will bond seamlessly, okay? If you start wiping sticky layers in between putting in layers, the layers are gonna flake and come off. So leave it on, okay? It's cured, but leave it on. And I always cure for 2 minutes or 120 seconds or the 60-second button twice, depending on your lamp. Unless you have a professional grade lamp, which I'm guessing you don't because they're in the hundreds. If you have a lamp that's cheaper than $100, cure for 2 minutes. Okay, so I want to show you something. I'm just going to take a dollop and I'm just going to drop it right there on my pointer. It's you know, it's a lot to put right there. But I want you to kind of see what that does. See how it starts running from side to side? So builder in a bottle is thin or thinner than what you can find in a pot. And that's, you know, again, it really depends on what you're buying in the pot, but you really can't have a thick gel in a bottle because it's not that nice to work with. So just keep in mind that you want to point your finger down so it runs down a little, not back, okay? So I'm just going to wipe some of that off because it's too much. And I'm just going to create a slip layer. You don't have to make a slip layer, but it will make it easier for everything to self-level if you do. And now I'm just gonna push. So I have a tiny little bead here. I'm just gonna push it back and get it everywhere I want it. And wipe down a little. So I want to make sure I'm getting everything here. Okay, and you can see in the light how it's not perfect. So I'm going to brush back up. Pointing my finger down, you guys. Pointing it down, I am brushing up from the tip. So it's thinner at the tip. I'm creating like an apex, if you can see that. You can also turn it upside down, but be careful with this tip, turning it upside down, because you can't see what's going on. And it's easy to have it upside down but tilted back toward the cuticle, and then you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's self-leveling nice, and it's like running into your cuticle. So I'm just checking in the light and seeing that reflection. That looks beautiful. And I'm going to do a flash cure for 10 seconds. Well, 5 seconds is good. That's good. And I'm going to go on to the next one. I'm going to try to do this one like that. This is a little awkward for me because I have a light right here in my face. So let's see if I can do this in reverse so you can hopefully get a better shot. So I'm going to paint onto the body of the nail so I don't put a bunch of excess at the cuticle when I'm not ready. I say when I'm not ready. When I'm ready is when I'm gonna start floating product. So I'm just putting down that slip layer right now. So it's really not enough to run. It's just gonna sit. Just brushing it on thinly. Not squeegee thin, but it's thin. Now I'm wiping, you can't see, I'm wiping one side of my brush, the other side, and then continuing up to the other. So I only have a little bead on one side, and I am going to put it at the cuticle, push it back just a smidge while pointing my finger down. And then I'm just brushing, getting the excess off, brushing up. See how I'm creating that shape. And that looks pretty good. Ooh, I think I got an air bubble. Don't leave air bubbles. See that one right there? Get that out of there. Okay, flash cure. 5 seconds just so it stops moving. There we go. And next finger, just doing a slip layer. I guess I'll do it like this so you can see. Just a slip. Okay. Wiping both sides of the stem and then one side of the brush. I can't tell if I'm in frame. I think I'm in frame. So I'm just putting my little dollop there. I am backing it up close, letting it go, and it should follow the slip layer. Checking the reflection in the light. Pretty good. Ooh, I think that's a bubble. Yep, right there. Get that out of there. Checking again. It's a little high. I might have piled a little too much. Okay, that's looking pretty good right there. That's looking beautiful actually. So 5 seconds, flash cure. So the reason we're just flash, 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 flash is so it doesn't move on us, right? If we did a full cure for every finger, we'd be here forever. So we're just getting the product on and building it, okay? I really need like a finger rest to do it this way, because usually I hold my hand like this. I don't know if you can see. You want to go slow. It's not nail polish. It's not going to air dry. So go slow when you're painting. You're less likely to get air bubbles. If you're brushing really fast, you're going to stir up the product. So you can see how thin that is. Now, being that it's my pinky, I have to be super careful with this bead and make sure that it's really small. That's pretty small. Again, I'm going to push it up because if you can see in the light the way it's bending, there's a little dip right at the cuticle. So I want to bring that out so I can get that C curve. Brushing to the end and then brushing back to center it. There's a little dip right where my natural nail likes to curl in, right here on the side. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit right there to fill that in, and I think that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, now we're going to do full cure. All right, so here they are. You can see the way the light hits them. They're in really good shape. Now, my first set that I ever did didn't come out this smooth. They were really jacked up and bumpy, so don't feel bad if I'm making it look really easy. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot my thumb. Let me do my thumb really quick. It only has base. Because I was checking in the light, I could see, and here's a prime example. See right there, that dip, bang. Right here near the cuticle, you can see there's just base gel, no builder. So let me go ahead and do my thumb. It's easy to forget your thumb, honestly. But you do want to do it separately from all the others, so everything stays where you want it. This is builder, and I'm doing the slip layer. Getting as close as I can. Again, I was not this good when I first started. I loved them. I thought I did a great job. But looking back on them, because I keep all those photos, they weren't that great. If I did a set like that today, I'd be really disappointed in myself. So you'll get better. I guess it's just like when you're a kid and you're drawing, you think a drawing is so awesome, and then later on you find it and you're like, ew, what is that? Alrighty. Checking, there we go. Checking sidewalls. If your sidewalls are not high enough, you will get hairline cracks there. So make sure you get your sidewalls. Look at that shine now. See it? Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to full cure my thumb by itself. So full cure, 2 minutes, right? So we had 2 minutes for the base, 2 minutes for all of the other nails. And because I messed up right now and forgot about my thumb, I should have flashed the thumb. Now I'm wasting time doing it all by itself. So I have an extra 2 minutes of time on the clock now that I could otherwise be done, all because I forgot my thumb. But it should be base gel on your thumb, flash, base gel, rest of your fingers, full cure because your thumb gets a little light on the side. It's just you don't have to worry about the running, right? Because it was flash cured. Then you do thumb builder, which I forgot. Flash, and then builder for the rest, full cure. So real time for just one hand, doing it on myself. You're doing it to someone else, you can be even faster because while the 2 minute is on for one hand, you're doing the other hand, right? So when you're doing it yourself, it's always going to take you longer. But real time, whatever the clock is right now in the video, add 4 minutes, and that's how long it takes to use Builder in a Bottle to do an overlay. Now at this point, you could say I'm done and just do a top coat, gel glossy top coat, cure that and walk away. If you didn't do a very good job, you know, if you're new and it's a little lumpy, it's okay. Then you're just gonna get your Nolent wipes and you're gonna get your 3-to-1 mix, 3 alcohol, 1 part acetone. You know, put that on, wipe off the sticky layer, and then just use your hand file and file down the bumpy parts, or, you know, kind of even it out, brush off all that, and then you can go in with your top coat after, okay? All right, so now I'm going to do my other hand. You don't need to see that because it's the exact same process, only more painful to watch because it will be with my non-dominant hand. Other than that, I still haven't decided what design I'm going to do, but I will figure that out hopefully by the time I'm done with my right hand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and you learned something, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.